Haile Selassie I, born Tafari Makonnen on July 23, 1892, in the Ethiopian province of Harar, emerged from a lineage believed to trace back to the biblical union of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, giving his claim to imperial rule both legitimacy and mystique in the eyes of Ethiopians. His father, Ras Makonnen, was a respected general and governor and a trusted ally of Emperor Menelik II, instilling in his son early exposure to politics, diplomacy, and military strategy. Raised in a world of feudal nobility, Tafari was a brilliant and precocious child with a hunger for knowledge, receiving an elite education in literature, languages, and Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity. His intellect, sharp memory, and diplomatic finesse marked him as an extraordinary figure even in his youth. As he grew into manhood, he became governor of several provinces, most notably Sidamo and Harar, where he displayed modernizing instincts by promoting education, communication infrastructure, and administrative efficiency. His political acumen elevated him through Ethiopia's rigid imperial hierarchy, and following the death of Menelik II and a turbulent succession crisis, Tafari rose to prominence as the de facto ruler during the regency of Empress Zuditu. In 1916, he was named Rastafari and heir apparent, taking on responsibilities for foreign affairs and internal reform. He was a strong advocate for modernization, encouraging secular education, reducing the power of the traditional nobility, and establishing ties with Western powers, all while maintaining the deeply rooted traditions of Ethiopian monarchy. Upon the death of Empress Zuditu in 1930, Rastafari was crowned Emperor Haile Selassie I in a lavish ceremony that captured the world's attention, and he took the title King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Elect of God. His coronation marked a new chapter in Ethiopia's history, symbolizing its sovereignty, ambition, and resilience in an increasingly colonized Africa. Haile Selassie became a global icon of African independence and pride, particularly admired by black communities worldwide. His advocacy for Pan-Africanism and his support for the League of Nations placed him on the world stage. However, his leadership would be tested profoundly in 1935 when Mussolini's fascist Italy invaded Ethiopia. Despite his attempts to resist, Ethiopia's outdated military and lack of international support led to occupation. Haile Selassie fled into exile in Britain in 1936, but not before delivering a historic speech at the League of Nations in Geneva, pleading for justice and warning of the dangers of fascism. His appeal, though powerful, was largely ignored by the Western powers. Nevertheless, his image as a dignified and courageous leader endured. In 1941, with support from the British during World War II, Haile Selassie triumphantly returned to Ethiopia and reclaimed his throne, becoming a symbol of resistance and the enduring spirit of his people. In the post-war years, he embarked on an ambitious program of modernization, expanding schools, improving infrastructure, centralizing power, and introducing a new constitution in 1955 that offered limited reforms while preserving imperial authority. Internationally, he became a revered elder statesman, championing African unity, helping to found the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1963, and hosting its headquarters in Addis Ababa. He also remained a beacon for the Rastafarian movement, which venerated him as a divine figure, though he never publicly endorsed the belief. Despite his global prestige, his domestic reign grew increasingly disconnected from the needs of his people. As he aged, his regime was marked by bureaucratic stagnation, suppression of dissent, and growing inequality. A devastating famine in the early 1970s exposed the weakness of his government, and images of suffering contrasted sharply with the opulence of the imperial court. Student protests, military discontent, and economic frustration boiled over into revolution. In 1974, amid mounting unrest and growing radicalism among young officers, Haile Selassie was deposed in a bloodless coup by the Derg, a Marxist-Leninist military junta that promised sweeping reforms. The emperor, once hailed as a living symbol of African sovereignty, was placed under house arrest. His once vast imperial palace became a prison. On August 27, 1975, Haile Selassie died under mysterious circumstances, officially attributed to natural causes, but widely believed to be assassination by the Derg. His death was not publicly acknowledged at the time, and his burial was secretive and unceremonious, a stark contrast to the grandeur of his life. It was not until 2000 that his remains were reburied in a full-state funeral at Addis Ababa's Holy Trinity Cathedral. Though his reign ended in turmoil, Haile Selassie's legacy continues to inspire debate and admiration. To some, he was a feudal autocrat who failed to embrace true reform. To others, he was a visionary monarch who preserved Ethiopia's independence and gave voice to African dignity. His life was one of epic proportions, marked by triumph, exile, return, and tragedy. He witnessed the twilight of empires and the birth of modern Africa. And in his quiet dignity, sharp mind, and unwavering belief in Ethiopia's destiny, Haile Selassie became more than an emperor. He became a symbol, a lion who walked with kings and still lingers in the memory of the world.